Let's get weird. Let's get psychedelic. Let's get tragic and sad. We got Mac Miller, his second posthumous album, and it is an honor to dive into this one. So right here, right now, it's none other than Balloonerism. Interesting. What an intro. No words, no lyrics at all. Just let the sound set it all up and just, yeah, build a vision and build a world in your mind through what you hear. This is a hip-hop album, though. It's got that feel and that vibe to it and that sort of experimentation, right? This is one of those you just got to close your eyes and you just got to feel your way through.
Yeah. You can feel
There it is.
Can you feel it? Vibrations. Okay, I went to sleep, faded, and I woke up invisible. Keep the ingredients. But I got the kitchen full. Thoughts are cynical, actions unpredictable. Supermodel bitches hold auditions in my swimming pool. I gave my life to this shit, already killed myself.
Wow.
We ain't the same, homie.
I'm sorry, I gotta pause. What a bar that is. I gave my life to this shit, already killed myself. And even before, like, went to bed faded and he wakes up invisible. Like, it always hits different when you just have someone you know is going through things mentally and they just have these bars and they just hit you because it's like a bar and you're like, wow, that's a dope line. But at the same time, I think it's dope because of the truth behind it as well. It doesn't just sound good. It doesn't just like hit right. There's also just that honest, vulnerable truth to it. And for us, the writing is on the wall with what Mac was going through mentally, which ultimately led to his demise, man.
Am I okay? Fuck no. Just so, not so. Need to let the drugs go. Trying to find heaven, I get high but never come close. We still wonder why we'll never learn to love.
Trying to find heaven, I get high but never come close.
Cause all the air is filled with gun smoke. A middle finger to the cyber gods. Fall back around, fuck around and let this virus off. In the mud, fuck your brainwash, I'm signing off. Can't kill a god with an upload. Y'all going. Where are you going? Do you have a destination?
This is like a metaphysical experience so far. And I love just the play off of the lyricism from like getting high and his problem with drugs, but then also like trying to reach heaven and flipping that high for a different feel. And then middle fingers up to the cyber gods. And it's almost like using his art, right? There's like a tie-in you feel like between his drug use and the art that he outputs in those sessions. And it's almost like uploading music and using that to try to take himself higher, to try to find that elevation, to try to match that high that he's on, but never feeling like he comes close. I think there was a deeper sort of meta look at that right there through that message in that track.
Did no one ever teach you how to dance?
I feel like Mac's voice was built for pianos.
Yeah, somebody died today. I saw his picture in the funny papers. Didn't think anybody died on a Friday. Some angry banker or some kind of money trader recently divorced or drunk driving down the highway and drove off the bridge to his wedding song. Blew out the bass in the speakers, you could still hear the trouble going.
Drove off the bridge to his wedding song? That's not depressing.
What your eyes see, too naive for war and that'll screw you. Still bet it all on the glory, hallelujah. I heard the answer in the gibberish of an old drunk. All he said was he's in no rush. If I could just pay.
Glory, hallelujah, heaven, hell. Religion plays on his mind in a number of ways, doesn't it? That's a consistent theme I see throughout this. But there's some other ones I want to talk about, but let's let it keep running a little bit more.
The moon's wide awake with a smile on his face as he smuggled constellations in a suitcase. Don't you love silence? Oh shit, here come.
The moon's wide awake with a smile on his face as he smuggles constellations. Just, again, another great poetic line, man. I love the way that this cat thinks.
Shit, I ain't an innovator. It's a motherfucking illustrator.
I've I've kind of undervalued Mac's storytelling ability. And I'm really glad I'm doing this.
On 4th Street, the orphan children play on a jungle gym. Lil Timmy broke his arm again on the monkey bars. Johnny's dad got a nicer car than all the other kids. He becomes the alpha and picks on everybody else. All of this before the brainwash starts. Before they get polluted, start thinking like adults. Life is fantasy and summer.
Before they get polluted, for they start thinking like adults.
Before there were rules, before there were limits. Your only enemies were
Brussels sprouts and spinach.
me. I used to want to be a wizard.
Yeah, fuck those veggies.
When did life get so serious? Whatever happened to apple juice and car wheels?
Whatever happened to apple juice and car wheels?
I think that's what it is. It's a number of themes I find really interesting so far. And one of those he just expressed very beautifully here. And to me, it's his struggle with the world, right? There's a lot of disconnect from it. And there's a lot of this exploration of, you know, the objective reality versus the subjective world, and kind of using drugs and imagination and means to like disconnect from that world because he's struggling to cope within that world and all of the cynicism that he sees within it. And there's also sort of that, you know, wanting to go back in time almost, right? That wanting to go back to when times were simpler, that we knew as kids, when life was so much more beautiful and there was so much more curiosity to the world, right? And we didn't have all these rules of adulthood and all the cynicism of adulthood. Mac really is someone going through his depression, someone going through his dark clouds. Well, he's going to reflect on those times when things were just a little bit brighter, and he's going to have those wanderings back to that. And I think that ties in as he starts to question his reality, as he questions his place in the world, as he also starts to think very seriously about death, even about his death. There is that darkness and those clouds hanging over. And then that's where the religious themes tie in. You start thinking about what's next. And then he starts mentioning and referencing heaven and sinning and God and the devil and all of these themes. And you can just see this boiling turmoil, this existential crisis. But overhanging it all is just this huge blanket of sadness. And yet you can see the artistic mind and the poetry through the expression and the beauty of it all. And he still has a way, even within the darkness, to find beauty and to captivate those sentiments and those feelings. What in the Nutcracker Wizard of Oz is going on here?
Well, my good days are exactly like the bad ones. My bitch say that I defy the laws of attraction. I've always been terrified of ending up normal. God is like the school bell, he gon' tell you when your time is up. Shit just end up working out, why do we wonder why it does?
God is like the school bell, he'll tell you when your time is up.
Yeah, so I asked God to take me on a perfect day. Swear I saw him crying, don't know why everyone's sure it's rain. Education system, but I feel we only learn from change. Every time I think about it, shit just starts to hurt my brain.
There is no such thing as freedom. What can we do? What can
There is no such thing as freedom. Yeah, the existential meltdown is fully culminated on this one.
'Cause I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm dying.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
As this album goes on, I think you just get more of a picture of Mac psychologically. And one thing that strikes me when I talked about his storytelling, and like, he definitely really pays attention, right? To other people, to the world. He told the story of the kids, but also like different stories. There was a lot of she, there was a lot of her. And I'm not sure specifically who he's talking about. But for me, to dive into that world and to tell it from those perspectives, you have to have a lot of empathy. And I think perhaps that's where a number of his troubles lie too, is because he is a sensitive soul and he does think deeply about the world. And even he highlighted like the problems that seem to be unsolvable are the ones that he just obsesses with and that he fixates himself on. And for me, it's that overthinking, right? That mind that just never stops and always empathizes and is so sensitive to the world and sees so much injustice and sees so much imperfection, but also finds beauty in that imperfection, but then also struggles to cope with it all and to make sense of it all, right? And you could see someone who's just really treading water in this wide sea as the storm comes on, but somehow, even while the lightning's striking in, he knows that he's in danger. He still takes a moment to breathe and appreciate the beauty of it too, right before the final plunge. Like, wow.
Do you fear that you'll have no control? You walk through this world with your head above water, shoes made of copper just trying to float. The lake's frozen over. Look down at yourself. What staring back doesn't please you. The man don't believe you. He sees through the lies that you tell. See, living and dying are one and the same.
Use that line before, and there's that sort of yin and yang, that duality coming back. Living and dying are one and the same. Your call's been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system because he's so out of touch, right? He doesn't want to take any calls.
Do you know anything at all? You've been waiting for answers. These parades and dancers keep building your castles from straw. A moon made of water. You swim to the shore. The pressure is building like buildings you jump from. Wishing that wishing could lift this conundrum.
The pressure is building like buildings we jump from.
The streets that you walk on are shallow, but do you feel as big as your shadow? No.
The streets that we walk on are shallow, but do you feel as big as your shadow? He's just got a few of these just lines, just simply said, but there's so much depth to it. And for me, it's just so revealing of things that he's thinking and greater issues that he's dealing with and struggling with, and his inner shadows and demons that he fights. Or fought, sorry, it's past tense now. Wow. Wild. No lyrics. We've had like no lyrics for 5 minutes now. It's just all feeling. My God. And that's how we end the album. I feel like I need a therapy session after that final one. And for me, again, we end it much in the same way that we started it. But I think what really shone through for me there is that symbolism of that phone ringing. And it takes on a new meta theme because we know that he's literally never going to be able to answer that phone. But for him at the time, represents his disconnect. He doesn't want to talk, right? He wants to send it to voicemail. And it could almost be like that nagging feeling at the back of your mind that you just can't seem to shake. That's what that phone ringing could represent. And like I said, I just picture Mac. And for me, it's that anxiety that you feel with some of these sounds, just being out in the world as he kind of reflects. And it's almost like this album is a mirror into his headspace. And it's really revealing all of his vulnerabilities. You know, he lets loose everything. And he takes you on this sort of emotional path and journey with him. And you feel his fear. You feel his angst. You feel his doubts. There's a little bit of humor too. There's some beauty to it as well. There's empathy. There's great storytelling. There's still an appreciation for the world, but also a dismay for that innocence lost. And a call back to wanting to go back to those days of childhood, but knowing that things have forever changed. And it feels like he knows he's on a sinking ship and he just can't figure out how to get out of that situation and out of that. And I wonder how much of this was fully completed and intended to be this way, and how much is just kind of left to a workshop. But I think what's really interesting is just sort of that window into his soul. Like, I really feel like this is art, and this is why I can never be a critic, really, because how do you critique something like this? I don't think you can. Like, for me, this is something that it doesn't follow a specific trend. It doesn't follow a specific time period. This is true timeless art, and this is someone just revealing his soul and revealing his essence to us, and all of those fears and all those shadows, and everything shines through. And that sadness, it's fucking tragic. It's melancholic. It's sad. I think there's glimmers of hope. Sometimes there is a little bit of rays of sunshine, but man, there are a lot of dark clouds in the horizon. It was a beautiful journey. Mac Miller, you were Knox Hill certified. Hope you guys liked today's video. Listen, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay positive. Don't forget to support the channel directly. Subscribe, notifications on. Really, really does go a long way. Also, come join the Patreon where we will have the full version of this album review. If you want to check it out, unfiltered, full version on Patreon now. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay positive. It's Willie Knox Hill. You know I'll catch you again.